Hi, thanks for joining us on the Nourishing the Community Podcast, where we're going to be talking about all things happening in the community with nonprofits and community needs and how you, the listener, can get involved and make some change. I'm your host, LaDonna Parham. This is my co-host,
Norman Hanks. Welcome to the show.
Nourishing the Community Podcast today.
Woo-hoo!
I'm LaDonna Parham with Nourish Food Bank.
And I'm Norman Hanks, co-hosting with Miss LaDonna. Today in the hot seats, we've got Missy with Wild Goose Chase Events and Becky Lanham with Kiwanis.
All the things.
All the things.
Here with
I was
Kiwanis,
just using the one that we were focusing on,
Yes,
but she does all the things.
all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Missy is actually now, if you did not know, you're about to learn, she's also with Kiwanis now.
I am a baby Kiwanin.
Yeah.
I can even quote the
Oh,
The oath.
The
Yeah,
oath.
you
Yep,
got
give it up.
well
Tell us
done.
Let's
Tell
do
us
it
about
right
Kiwanis.
now in the hot seat.
Kiwanis is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world, one child, one community at a time.
Boom.
Good job.
Cue the applause.
I've heard
Proud of
tell
you,
that there's a
Missy.
chest bump that goes
Secret
with
handshake.
it, but they
Secret handshake
won't.
with
Off
the chest
camera.
bump.
They won't let us see it. So
Nope, you gotta join.
maybe another
It's a
time.
secret.
That's
Talking
why
about
it's called a
joining,
secret. Yeah.
how does someone join, Becky?
And why would they? What is it? Tell us everything.
Yeah. So, well, Missy just kind of gave you the rundown on what Kiwanis is. It is a community service organization worldwide, and it focuses mostly on children, whereas each individual chapter can focus on what they want. But the general focus of Kiwanis is on children. And so the majority, I'd say probably 95% of what Kiwanis in Rutherford County does focus on children's charities and supporting children in Rutherford County.
Awesome. Such
So-
as?
So one of the longest running programs that we've had, which Missy was not a part of last year because she wasn't here yet, but
Not yet.
she's going to love it. The Good Shepherd Children's Home.
Okay.
This will actually be our 49th year doing a Christmas party for the children at Good
Wow.
Shepherd Children's Home. So our Kiwanis Club has been partnered with them for 49 years.
Ooh, awesome.
and-
Love Good Shepherd.
Yeah,
We've done
so-
some
Yeah.
stuff with them as well.
So we can talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but also we can talk about Candle Wishes. That's another big one. Our Kiwanis Club has coordinated their December-January party, which we actually hold in November. I think this will be our 18th or 19th year that I have personally coordinated it for the club. And so I have some big asks on that one, so we can talk about that a little
Okay.
bit too. But another big program is our Key Clubs. In the area high schools, if you're familiar with the community service organization Key Club, that is like literally baby Kiwanians. And so that's actually how I got started in the organization almost 25 years ago. When I was in high school, I joined Key Club, and then I continued on from there. So, and then
That's
Missy has a tie-in with our softball program. Kiwanis for many years, I guess since the 1950s, ran. We did the boys baseball league and the girls softball league starting in the 1950s in Murfreesboro, and up until I guess last year or the year before, we actually did run that softball program, and Missy had some tie-in there.
Yeah, I was in the program as a youth, and then coached my kiddo when they were doing softball as a little kid, and now they're playing softball as a college kid. So
Big kids.
big kids, yeah. So that was a huge part of the softball world. It was either the Kiwanis or Smyrna softball. That was it. So
And when you say that you do softball, you mean you sponsor teams, you provide coaches, you run the
So
concessions, like
run the
what-
whole league.
Yeah, so we
All
did
right.
that and like I said, we're not doing it now. So that's why we've had to go into some fundraising, which I know we're going to talk a little bit about. But things changed over the years with fees and costs, and it was costing more, and the
Right.
liability of it. It was just it wasn't feasible for the a small civic club of our size to run something that large
Mhm.
anymore, unfortunately. But we've had some amazing volunteers and people we've been able to hire over the years to help with that. But our main fundraising was the concession stand. So first
Yeah.
and foremost, the money that we raised from the concession stand there went to support the ball program. And then the extra profit that we made from that would go to support our key clubs and then all of the other nonprofits that we work with and make donations to.
But loads of
Awesome.
young people came through that program since the 1950s. I mean, it's huge. So glad to see that it's still in good hands.
Yeah, it's still going. Just
We
not with
don't
us.
have to work the concession stand every night of the week.
Yeah,
We just
I
I
know you
do
miss
appreciate that.
2 big fundraisers a year. There we go.
Yeah.
And so people join Kiwanis because they want to be community volunteers? Why else might somebody join?
Yeah. I think really that's the main thing, just wanting to be able to have opportunities to give back and find those opportunities and to do it with like-minded people. A lot of people will come to a civic club, or their business will say, you need to join a civic club, and they do it for networking things. And yes, I've actually made some great networking, connections. My lawyer, my CPA, my insurance person. I've made a lot of business connections, but that's not why someone joins Kiwanis. You join Kiwanis because you genuinely care about the community and you want to make a difference. And we've got a really good group right now, and I'm really excited about it. I'm actually, October 1st, I'll be going back in as my 4th term, not consecutive, as president of the
Nice.
Murfreesboro Club. So I'm excited about the year ahead. And we always are looking for new members. So anyone that is interested in joining, we meet on Wednesdays at lunch every week. Your dues pretty much just covers your meals. And we're getting ready to start meeting at Jim and Nick's barbecue.
Okay.
Next week, we're just finishing up. We've been at McAllister's, and we're going over to Jim and Nick's starting on the 4th of October. And we're hoping that'll be a good fit for us over there. And
so would somebody
they can just
show up, or
they
do
can
they
just
need to be
show up as a
sponsored?
guest. If they just want to come and visit, we're happy to buy them lunch and let them learn a little bit more. They can certainly email myself or Missy, or anyone who's in Kiwanis, and come, specifically as our guest, so we can introduce them and everything and make sure they're greeted at the door. But yeah, we welcome anyone.
Yeah, I can say that. I mean, I've been a part of several networking groups with the purpose of networking groups, and I knew that my heart was to give back. So I was interested in finding those places. So, having worked with the Kiwanis on their first official fundraiser, I was like, okay, these guys got it together. I want to get in on this. So it was very interesting to me to see. For me, it was a lot of like-minded people, in the fact that one of the things I love that the Kiwanis does is they take pictures, wherever they go, and they post. And it's just amazing to me, all of the things that they support, whether it's financially through the organization or just as good humans in our community. So it's just super, super fun to be a part of a group that genuinely wants to make a difference in the community. So.
And as the good humans in the community, you go out and volunteer at some of these places, as well as donate funds.
We donate funds. We do, what do you call them? Projects.
Yeah. So we do in-club service projects once a quarter. So our regular meeting schedule, we meet every Wednesday. And so on the months where there's 4 weeks, we have our business meeting the first week, then we'll have a program the second week. We'll have a social meeting where we do something fun the third week, and then we'll have another program on the 4th week. And those months where we have a 5th week, we'll actually do an in-club service project. So we actually bring the project to the restaurant or whatever it is. So we did
diaper bags
for a shelter. One time we did hygiene bags for Endure Athletics that they handed
domestic
out.
violence center,
and we did something for domestic violence where we did
kind of go bags
for them. And then we did for Candle Wishes, which we have our big project coming up. We actually did some at-home birthday kits. So the kids actually, they come to this party, which we'll talk, I'm sure, about, but they actually get to take home this little bag that's got a cake, some icing, balloons, streamers, and the things they wanted to do at home for a party. So this, obviously, the party they're all coming to is not on their specific birthday. So that way they have something to take home and actually celebrate on their birthday with their family.
Awesome.
And so we made those bags at one of the recent ones. So those are some projects that we do, because a lot of the people, work during the day and they can come to our lunch meeting, but then they have maybe young kids who are in sports and they can't get out and volunteer as much at night. And so that's a way to let them give back and do a project where they don't actually have to take out of their family time. But, we volunteered talking about concession stands. We actually partnered up with the Kiwanis Club out in Shelbyville, they have a huge concession stand for the horse show every year.
I bet.
And so
we
went out there.
Anything to do with the donuts?
So unfortunately,
we were on the other side. That's the other civic organization.
I heard about the donuts. I think some of our folks went over and got some donuts, but we actually were serving some great steak sandwiches.
Oh gosh,
so good. So we went out and volunteered and helped them. So that was kind of fun, helping them with their fundraising efforts. And then we've got a turkey drive that one of our members, Byron Glenn, him and his wife have been doing for many years, where they actually take Thanksgiving meals into homes. And so we're going to be volunteering on a Friday night in November to put those baskets together, the boxes, and then actually going into homes and delivering on Saturday morning. So there's just lots of opportunities. We're doing Habitat for Humanity is doing their Cooking to
Cooking to
Build. And
Build.
for the last,
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe the last 8 years, we've been their water provider. So we set up tents and hand out, free water at that event.
Great.
And we get our key clubbers out for that too.
Yeah.
So they'll be coming out. So we're doing that coming up soon. And then when we
Yeah.
have the Candle Wishes party, obviously it's a huge event with like 300 people. So we'll have a ton of volunteers
Yeah.
for that. But
That's I love the shoulder to shoulder. It's not just, hey, you do this. It's, hey, let's go do this. So
Yes.
I love it.
and speaking of let's
you-
going and doing this, so Missy Lay came into our lives, which was an amazing thing when I'd been trying to.
She is an amazing thing.
She is an
Aw,
amazing
thanks.
thing. And
Thanks, fam.
when we were trying to figure out, okay, if we're going to lose our largest, fundraising project, the concession stand, what are we going to do? And I said, I know this girl named Missy. And I said, she's got a lot of great ideas. Why don't we sit down with her and let her pitch some ideas to us? And so that is how our first event came about, which was Comedy for a Cause,
Okay.
which was amazing.
It's
and
amazing.
we're planning another one right
It
now.
was my best and most profitable fundraiser I've ever done.
Yeah, it was so great.
awesome.
So much
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to it again. But before that, we've got the Clue Party, which Missy has come into Kiwanis and has so graciously offered to let that benefit Kiwanis now. And so we're working hard on that. We've got some great characters. So I would love for her to be able to talk a little bit about
Sure.
Clue this year and what's coming up with that, because that's our, kind of our half our
It's
bread
our-
and butter
it's
to
our-
make
it's
everything
our
happen
fall
now.
bread
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
our winter butter for
yeah.
Yeah. So previously the Clue Party, which is a live Clue board game. We have 8 people in the community play the characters, and the guests get to come and play detective and solve the murder, where it's, Colonel Mustard with the wrench in the library, or Scarlet with the candlestick in the lounge, or whatever the case may be. And each year we have a different story and different characters. And so previously I would rotate who received it. And once I got to know the Kiwanis and how much they give back to the community as a whole, to the multiple nonprofits, I was like, this way I'm working with one organization, but I'm helping 9 or 10. So it was kind of a no-brainer, especially as hard as they worked in January. It was like we had more than enough volunteers. There was more than enough money raised. There, it was just an incredible situation. So I offered to give them the Clue Party, and they were like, okay, let's do it. So every week I give an update on how we're doing. We've had one character who's already reached their 1,000 mark. We have 4 or 5 characters who are over halfway there. And then this year, for the first time, I didn't have to beg people to play the characters. We had an application process, and I had to turn people away. So for our 5th year, we've introduced side characters, and their sole job is to just walk around and give hints and clues and spread information and things like that to kind of help people. Rumors and scuttlebutt and all that stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to say scuttlebutt.
I'm glad you did.
Just
Yeah.
wanted to get that on a podcast. So, I mean, essentially, every year we make it to where I always tell the characters, you can't mess this up. And they're like, it's so much pressure. I'm like, no, you cannot mess this up. LaDonna, who has played Miss Scarlet before, will tell you, even though you try.
Yeah. Somebody was asking me for input the other day. I was like, just pick a facet of your character and run with it. I said,
Yes.
mine was a drunken. We'll go with has been. Mine was a drunken has been. And so anytime somebody asked a question that I knew I shouldn't answer, I would just be like, you can't expect me to remember that, but in drunken has been voice, and talk
Yeah.
about how I'd been drinking too much and to go ask
Yeah.
somebody else. So
Kara
you
Kemp,
just
Kara Kemp played Colonel Mustard like Colonel Sanders.
Which
So
is
it was like,
fantastic.
I say, we're going back to the football. Pick out the jock straps. I mean, like it was fun to just watch them kind of do that. So every year the new characters look forward to when the previous year's characters can kind of come and, okay, this is kind of what it's going to be like. And yes, they're going to ask dumb questions. And yes, it's going to be the same question over and over and over. Just have fun. And it was interesting last year because I had one of our very first characters from Mrs. Peacock from the very first year came in to play the singing telegram girl. And she was commenting on how far it had come. So basically when they started, it was like, here are 4 things about your character. Have fun.
Yeah.
And
when I
now-
did it, it was like a whole
Yeah, you had a small packet.
your
Yeah.
whole life story.
Yeah, and it tells you, who your character is, who your friends are, who your enemies are, what your secrets are. And this year, I'm even going to have fun with a little something when someone asks Professor Plum about blank, then he has to quack like a duck or be like quack or whatever. Like, and it is only if they accept that. I'm not going to make them embarrass themselves, but like I want to make when somebody asks Jason Ayers something, I want to see him soft shoe for something. I don't know.
Nice.
We'll figure
Surely
something-
he'll say yes to that.
Oh,
That would
he
be
is
great.
he is game. So we have some amazing people. If I can list them really quick. So Mrs. White is an actual 8th grade middle school teacher from here. Her name is Meredith Mitchell. She teaches in Williamson County, but she is a spunky girl. So she's incorporating her chemistry, lab coat, and
Nice.
for the sake of the history of the mansion, we've done away with the rope, and she has helped us introduce the poison. So we got poison. We have Rachel Mayo is playing the maid. Vicky Sheridan, diplomat. She's playing Mrs. Peacock, and Amanda Howell has stepped up to play Miss Scarlet. And then the guys, we have Jason Ayers from Veterans Pressure Washing. He's playing Colonel Mustard. David Johns, who always has fun with us on Dress Up Things, is playing Professor Plum, who is quote unquote running for mayor. And so he has buttons.
Should have worn
and
my button. I
We
didn't
didn't
wear my
have our-
campaign button.
he has campaign buttons to get people talking.
We're actually
Um,
Saturday morning. We are recording a campaign ad for him. I'm
I love
in on
that.
that, so it's going to be a good
I
time.
love that he's just all in.
He is so in. Much fun.
And then we have Chris Warren, who's a pastor here in town. He's playing the butler. And then
Green.
Jeff Witt, who is a good friend of mine and quite the ham, is excited to play Mr. Green with all of his debonair style. So he is a
Like it.
famous trouble photographer in our story. But essentially, the mansion is the home of Marty Shelbourne. So our story is that Shelbourne was beat by Professor Plum and went into a spiral, and 10 years of dilapidation. Suddenly everyone gets an invitation to the mansion, and they show up and everything's sparkling clean and blah blah blah, and then bum bum bum, yeah, murder happens, and you got to figure out who got rid of Marty Shelbourne. So it
I
is
like it.
it is a murder mystery on steroids. It is so much fun. We do a costume contest where the guests can come dressed as their favorite character. We've had a group come dressed as
The Scooby Gang
Scooby
was
Gang.
one of
Scooby
my
Gang.
favorites.
Yes,
They
that
came
was
as the Scooby
great.
Gang. We had a couple of ladies that came dressed like Agatha Christie.
Mm-hmm.
We've had, in fact, Meredith Mitchell, who is now Mrs. White, came dressed in the CSI gear. Like they had booties on their feet and
I remember
had
that.
the whole
That was
CSI
great.
stuff. So, I mean, we've had some really cool characters, some gender bending, and this couple, Sean played the maid and Christy came as a butler. And there was a gentleman who came as Miss Peacock, and his wife came as Colonel Mustard. So it was just so much fun to see everybody just go all out. And there's a cash prize for best costume.
I'll be
And-
Mrs. Peacock this year.
There you go.
Nice.
I mean, not your official, but like for the costume.
oh, I
I'm
love
Mrs.
it.
Peacock.
It's so
I
fun.
can see that.
Yeah. So, and then there's a cash prize, $250 for what we do is we take everyone who got it right, and then we let our murderer pick one card, and that card gets the winner. So we've had a couple years that people have given the money back to the charity, and a couple years that they've gone and done something fun. So it's a great, fun opportunity to get the community involved, teach people about Kiwanis. And I mean, my goal in life is to have fun and be amazing. So
Mhm.
we
Well,
have fun. So,
We do.
so
One
yeah.
of the things I always love is the way that the people who are portraying the characters get into it with each other the night
Oh,
of and are
sure.
playing off of each other
Sure.
and throwing shade and sass each other's way. That's a
Constant
lot
screaming and wailing or
And-
whatever.
And that's why you need the VIP tickets, because a lot of that happens during that first hour. The
Yeah.
VIP tickets get you on the back patio where every single character is together, and you learn a lot during that hour.
of.
You sure do. We have we're gonna have some delicious sweets. We have some food, drinks, tickets are boroughclueparty.com. We have VIPs $100, general admission is $75. We really want to sell this year out and just blow it out of the water for our first year with Kiwanis, our 5th year as an event.
And it's October 14th.
Saturday, October 14th. Thank you. That's very important.
That is important. Yeah,
Saturday,
know when
October
it's happening.
14th.
At Oakland's Mansion. I'm sorry, Shelbourne Manor.
Shelbourne Mansion,
Mansion.
aka Oakland's Mansion.
Okay.
It's valet parking, so you don't, you just drive up, jump out, have some fun, solve a murder, be on your merry way.
Yeah, it's a perfect date night.
Oh, it's
And
so fun.
also with it being in October, I mean, it's a Halloweeny event.
Yeah,
You're
get
already
your dress
looking at
up.
your costumes. It's a fun thing to go out and do with your adult friends. Now, you do a Clue Junior? Are you doing a Clue?
We do
in the-
a Clue Junior,
Yeah.
which benefits Murfreesboro Little Theater. And that is the Sunday after, so Sunday, October 15th, for our junior detectives.
Because you're not tired enough after the 14th.
Absolutely not. I'm still, it's my favorite
Glutton
game, my
for-
favorite event. I'm just, let's do this.
Adrenaline
Luckily Connor and James at Oakland's are game. But for those of you who don't know, Oakland's Mansion had a cat that adopted them, sweet Fanny Manny. And so last year was our first year. We introduced Clue Junior, and someone had catnapped Fanny Manny. Oh no.
It was a travesty.
It was
I
terrible. It was really sweet. James kept her in the gift shop, so nobody knew where Fanny was. And then at the end, he brought her out, and everyone's like, "Oh, Fanny's home." So this year, it's a wizards theme, and someone has petrified Fanny Manny. They've used magic outside of wizarding school.
Surely not.
And they've petrified Fanny Manny, and you have to figure out who it was. Last year, it was who it was, and what with, and what room. But this year, it's just, you got junior detectives, just got to figure out who it was. So Murfreesboro Little Theater has some amazing young actors that come in and play the characters. So,
well, and I love that it's an opportunity for families to do something together. You
Yeah.
know, when we were talking to folks, when we were doing Game of Palooza a few weeks ago and leading up to that, there are run walks that happen in town, but outside of that, there's not very much for families to do together. You know, you have your things like Sky Zone or something, which I'm not saying there's not a place and that's not great because mama gets tired, but taking your kids to that and they run off and do their thing and you're sitting there on your phone while they do their thing and then you leave isn't really doing something with them. And so I think that it's phenomenal that they get a chance to see the importance of benefiting the community and giving back in that way, but also having fun together as a family. I
and
think
coming
that's
to
great.
Oakland's Mansion, not on a field trip. I mean,
Right. And saving that poor cat. You know,
we got to save
Poor
Fanny.
Fanny Manny.
But it's interesting because last year a lot of the characters were like, the parents were really wearing us out with questions. So this year we've kind of emphasized that these are young detectives, and if you want to coach them, but let them ask the questions, to the point that the characters, there's a magic spell over the mansion that you can't hear adults when they speak.
I love it. I love it. And you know, if those parents want to get involved, buy the grown-up tickets the night before
That's
and come have
right.
your party
That's
then
right. Yeah.
and benefit Kiwanis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, two really fun ways to just engage with other people, and then help the community. I've learned that theater folk are the best folk. So helping Murfreesboro Little Theater and get a home is a big win for me.
And they get those also at Borough Clue Party.
Yeah. Yep. It is burrowclujunior.com.
So there's boroughclueparty.com for the grown-ups and all of the fun sassiness
For
benefiting
Kiwanis.
Kiwanis.
Yep.
And then there's Borough Clue Junior.
Yep.
And those are both .com.
Correct.
Awesome.
And it's $25 for an adult, which gets a child in. So it's, $50 the whole family can come.
Very cool.
Well, mostly the whole family. Just 2 of your kids. Leave the others. No, I'm just kidding.
So
Forget them.
something you said, LaDonna, is a really good leadway from the Clue events, which are our fundraising events, to our service projects. And you mentioned being able to do things with your family. So something that we have coming up that I previously mentioned was our Candle Wishes party, which is a huge event that we've been doing for about 18 years. For those of you that might not know what Candle Wishes is, it's an organization very similar to Angel Tree, which, you adopt angels at Christmas. But it's for birthdays. So these kids who, Jenny Williams, who founded this when she was in high school, she was actually volunteering with Angel Tree, and she's looking at these children and, they're getting gifts for Christmas. And she's like, well, what about for their birthdays? If at Christmas, they're getting all these things from these organizations, but what about, do they get to have a party like I do?
Yeah. In high school.
And she was in high school when she
Sharp
started
girl,
this.
yeah.
And so here we are over 20, I think it's 21 years now since she started it. And I've been with her most of the time. She actually came and spoke to the Murfreesboro Kiwanis Club and presented candle wishes.
Yeah.
And I hooked on and became a board member immediately and have been working with her ever since because she came to Kiwanis. And so we take on the largest party of the year. Normally they do one party a month. And they have all the kids for the upcoming month come to the party, and they'll have like a church group or civic organization. Sometimes like the beta clubs, the individual key clubs will do a month. And by doing that, you're having a place for the party, and then you have to get gifts for all the children. And it's a nice bag of gifts because you want to get their needs as well. So,
And about
shoes,
how many children?
clothes. So in a normal month, 30 to 40 children. Okay. Well, the hardest one to get done is the December, January party because they combine 2 months because of Christmas. They don't want to have one right at Christmas time. And so we agreed to take that on all those years ago. And we are back up to pre-COVID numbers now. And I think we have like 99 kids.
Wow.
And then their families come with them to the party. So we'll have 300 to 350 people. On November 18th at Blackman High School. Our Blackman High School Key Club has arranged the facility for us. Nice. And our key clubs, we've got key clubs in like 6 area high schools. And so hopefully each of them will get involved and each club will adopt a child. But we've got 99 kids, y'all.
That's
So
amazing.
We've got to reach out to the community.
Right.
And get those kids adopted. And when I say adopted, no, I texted somebody the other day and they were like, I don't know that we can take on that, Becky. And then she thought I literally meant to take a kid home with you. No, you just have to provide their gifts.
Adopt them for the party.
For the party.
I love how all in Kiwanis goes.
Yeah, we're just all everybody's taking a kid home.
You get a kid.
You get a kid. You get a kid. We've all had our background checks. Everything's fine.
Yes.
But no, we definitely need people to do that. And that's a great opportunity, like you said, to have something to do with your kids and really get them engaged and learn about helping the community.
Yes.
And
reinforce like she learned in high school, like I get a birthday party, but what about these kids? For those kids to be part of getting those presents and thinking about that, it creates lifelong patterns of giving and community support.
Exactly.
I think that's awesome.
And, when I've got 99 kids, it's easy to usually I can pick out, like if you say, okay, I've got a daughter who's 8 years old. So we want a little girl around her age so she can go help shop, or if you've got a boy and a girl and you want to adopt a boy and a girl around the same ages so those kids can go shop for them, then they feel really connected because it's another child around their age. And I can generally handle those requests because we have so many kids. So I'm happy to do that. So if anybody is interested, I'm going ahead and starting my list now. We'll probably get the children's information right around the 1st of November, and our party's the 18th. So I'll try to get everything collected the week before. So you'll have about 2 weeks to shop after I get the information to you about your child. And then I gather all of that stuff at my house and it just takes over. And I have to go through everything because a lot of people, when businesses will adopt and they'll have, sorry guys, not to say it's always you. Sometimes it's the women too, but you'll say like a size 11 shoe or something, or a size, and they'll get like a baby shoe for like a 14-year-old or something, like they don't look at the age and get it right. So I literally go through all 99 of those gifts that come in. I will personally go through and make sure all the sizes are right. And
you'll have help. We'll help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this year I'm going to have lots of help.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing.
Yes.
So join Kiwanis and come to my house and we'll look at your 100 gifts and keep them organized.
Yes.
And put them in a U-Haul and haul
And
them to the
people
party.
can make some kids' day for
Yes.
sure. Yeah.
And people can adopt 1 kid or 20 kids or just whatever
Yeah.
they or their group want to do as part of supporting.
we've
Be
had
that.
a good service project for local businesses.
Yeah. Do something with your
give
office
back
for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
A cool Thanksgiving project with your office for things that you're thankful for. You can donate a little and you can go shopping as an office, or collect money, and then the people that want to go shopping do it, or if your company will sponsor a kid. And
well, and that's good too, because you've got people who are in a position where they can adopt a kid and cover that all on their own. But if they can't, if times are lean, if they can all go in together and pitch in and support that child, then is there sort of an average range?
Yeah, it's funny. I was looking back. Missy had me pulling pictures for some promotional stuff, and I was looking at some old Facebook posts where I was asking for people to adopt children. And and then one of the posts I found, it said $75 to $100 will cover a child. Not anymore.
No.
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 That's a
It's
pair of
about-
shoes if you're
yeah,
lucky.
It's about $150. If you shop at Walmart, you can get out for about $150. Now, some of the older kids, if they want a bicycle or something that's going to cost a little bit more, then you just won't get them other toys. They'll get the bicycle and they'll get like an outfit, shoes, and the essentials.
Right.
So it's, we try to keep it as even as we can for the
Yeah.
kids, but at the same time, if they have something they really need, or, sometimes the younger kids might need a toddler bed or something that is a little bit more. And we always try to fill those needs if we can.
Right. And I think it's important to focus on the needs that are identified by the kids and their parents. I think sometimes it can be easy for people who aren't in this sort of field all the time to see those lists of those asks and immediately you're like, that's such a big gift. They ought to be grateful for XYZ. We hear that kind of thing a lot. People doing Angel Tree hear that, and I'm sure you do too. And I think it's important for the community to understand that it is about celebrating the child and them getting those things, but also for them, it's I might want this for entertainment value, but I also might want this because all of my peers have this and I feel isolated and lonely or embarrassed or uncomfortable
Right.
because I don't have that. And that negatively impacts their self esteem. And quite frankly, these days, that self esteem and sense of well being is such a massive part of
Fitting
um,
in. Yeah.
yes. And, we see unhealthy numbers rising every day. And the more we can do things that support that sense of well being for them and that sense of belonging, the better. And, maybe they asked for a tablet and maybe they can't, and they're 10 and maybe they can't, you can't find that anywhere, but it doesn't make them unreasonable for asking it. Most kids don't know what stuff costs,
Yeah.
but they know their peers have that.
Right.
Or maybe they don't have a laptop at home, but they can do homework on that because they could access internet and then they could do their homework on that. And, they don't have a TV, but they can watch TV and do their homework and play games and all of
Right.
that. So just taking that sense of judgment out of that list,
Please.
Yeah.
I think is really incredibly important.
I agree.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Would
Would you like to adopt a child?
Wait, I'm going to need you to clarify.
Just buy their gifts. You do not have to take them home. I don't know.
No
Although some of their
children.
parents might like
All of
a day
No
off.
children
anyway.
are exchanging hands.
I'm not playing then. I love kids.
I know.
Both.
I know we'll want to take them all home, but
Well, that's awesome that Kiwanis does all of that and that
Mhm.
they're taking new members on so that people from the community can get involved. It's helpful to know what you guys really do. And you meet on Wednesdays at noon at Jim and Nick starting next week. They don't have to be sponsored by somebody. They can just show up and be like,
Correct.
I want to learn and
Yeah.
check this out. So how much are dues?
130, I think, a quarter.
Yeah.
And that pretty much just covers your meal. So we've been trying to keep our dues as low as possible to allow as many people, to join us. So we
Mhm.
kind of count on you not coming every week. If you come every week, we lose money on you. So we count on those people.
So they don't
who
get in
can't-
trouble.
They don't.
if
No,
they don't
no,
come.
no.
Okay.
No, we want
There's
their
no
money.
shame.
We want their money. But no, dues are very reasonable. It just covers your
Yeah.
food. So I mean, if you're going to eat on a Wednesday,
You
you might as
gotta
well be in
eat.
Kiwanis.
Yeah.
Right?
You just pay
Yeah.
for it in advance. So
You gotta eat anyway. So
yeah, so we're excited about everything coming up, and then we're coming back around to our second fundraiser, which will be after Christmas. We talked a little bit about Good Shepherds,
Mhm.
and we've been doing that. This will be 49 years,
that's
and
crazy.
and that's one of the most touching things, being out there at the kids' home
Mhm.
with them, and they're getting
Christmas
ready.
dinner
Yeah,
and-
they're getting ready to build a new house, or they're trying to raise money for that. They've already bought land. Because they're in a very, very old home right now, which they've made look beautiful, but they're wanting to build a new facility. So
Right.
we're looking forward to celebrating with them this Christmas, and then we go straight into our next fundraiser, which is Comedy for a Cause year
Yeah.
2, which year 1 was
Second
amazing.
annual.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
exciting. Do you know yet who your comedian is going to be or we're not allowed to tell?
We don't have a signed.
We don't have a
contract
signed
yet.
contract yet, so that just makes me nervous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
Okay.
going to be great though. We're actually going to do we're trying to get 2 kind of co-headliners this time.
yes.
We're excited because it'll be something for everybody and kind of it'll
Yep.
be a really fun
It's-
night if we
It
get what we're
is
wanting.
Friday, January 26th. We do 2 shows, 6:30 and 9 p.m. So you can come to the comedy show, then go eat, or you can eat and then come to the comedy show, which however that works. But we'll have a few little light appetizers, but we'll have 2 amazing local comedians who will make you laugh till your side hurts. And we a table for 4 is $400.
Yeah, so we only sell 10 tables per show, and those are the ones right on the stage. Everything
Yeah.
else is just chair seating. But yeah, the tables, so those went fast last time.
They did go very
Yeah,
fast
the
last
tables for
time.
the first show sold out like in a couple days.
Yep.
But $400, and you'll have your table, so you have somewhere to sit your drink, and you'll be right up there, so they can pick on you.
And then theater seating for everyone else, which is $75 a person. Like I said, 2 shows.
We do have sponsorships available for that. And with your sponsorship, if we were able to negotiate it again, we did last year. We'll do photos for any of the sponsors that attend, can do photos with the comedians right after the show.
Great.
So you can get pictures with them. And then you also get priority seating. We kind of have a little holding area downstairs at the Walnut House where we have our appetizers and stuff. So when we open the doors after sound check, we'll let our sponsors in first. And they can get in the regular seating, not the reserved prepaid seating, but in the regular seats, they can get front row if they want, or they have first pick. The sponsors do.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So, and the Walnut House is such a great venue for that. Ricky and his staff go out of the way to make it an amazing event. We had, the first show last year was sold out, and I think we had maybe 11 tickets left for the second show. Like
Yeah.
we were so close to selling out. So this is the year,
Yep.
or next year's the year.
Yeah, I guess it is next year. It's
Yeah, 2024.
Yeah,
Don't
2024.
blink. Don't blink. So
In just a
yeah.
few months.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah. And
Fast.
that's a great, it's clean comedy. It's we work with families and children, so we, keep that in mind. Last year we had Henry Cho, who kicked it off for us, whose dad was a Kiwanian, which was kind of cool to find out.
Yep. Kiwanis
So
president in Norwood.
yeah, we got him before he got real big. And then he became a Grand Ole Opry member.
Inductee.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we probably can't afford him now.
we can't afford him now. Good
Right.
for him. But thanks for slumming with us down here in Murfreesboro. But
But it really is. What's great about it is it makes you feel like you're at a real comedy show, like in a big city.
yeah,
Like, it's an intimate setting. So even though, you see a lot of bars and stuff that say, oh, we've got a comedian, and you go and it's loud and there's things going on around and there's a comedian this is like Ricky and his team do such a great job with the production value of this.
Mhm.
And the setup is so nice. Like you really do feel like you're in a big city comedy club right here in
Mhm.
Murfreesboro.
Yeah, and we did a fun video last year. It was like parking in Nashville, $20 if there's not a Predators game. Then it's a little more. In Murfreesboro, $0. Costs you nothing to park. You could sit in the very back of the room and put your binoculars on and see the person, or you can come to our show and he's right there. He's right there. I think the furthest distance was 30 feet.
Oh.
Everyone was at least 30
30
feet equidistant from the comedian.
Yeah. And that's great because, you really feel like you connect more when you're in a smaller venue
Yeah.
like that. And
Yeah.
you have to be on your best behavior too, because they can see everything you're doing.
I'm out.
Yeah, they'll pick on a few people who I think he asked about teachers because his mom was a teacher, and
Yeah.
I got some people called out, but it's all in good fun. No one was
It's clean
upset.
comedy, so it doesn't,
Yeah.
they can't be too mean.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we don't wanna
Like,
hurt
I don't
anyone's
even want to
feelings.
go to that. What is it, Dick's Last Resort, where they put that hat on you with the mean thing they say about
We won't
you?
say anything mean
Oh,
to you,
yeah.
LaDonna.
Yeah,
No, we won't be mean
No.
to you.
We will love on you so much for coming to our fun event. So
I hope I
Please.
get to come this year. I didn't get to go last year, so I'm
Yeah.
excited. I hope I'm able to come this year.
yeah.
Well, we need to make that happen.
Yeah. And that's boroughcomedy.com.
Boroughcomedy.com. You just have all of the
All the
do.
borough
QR.
things.
I do. I jumped on it immediately. I also have boroughbigwheel.com, which who knows if that'll get taken.
Come up with something for that.
I know. Who wants to do a fun big wheel event with
I
me?
mean,
Oh,
let's
Trent
have a
does.
Do you
Producer
have
Trent does.
giant
Of
big
course he
wheels
does.
for people to ride.
I was yep.
Is that a
I have
thing?
I have a lead
mm,
around Saddlebrook. Okay. Anyway.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything that you feel like we don't know about Kiwanis that we need to get out there?
do they
or-
have website, socials? Any way to follow and see what's going on?
Yeah,
Keep
absolutely.
up with?
So we got, I think it's Murfreesboro.Kiwanis.com is the website.
Okay.
We actually update more our social media. So if you follow us on Instagram, and it's funny.
It's Kiwanis-Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
Or
so
underscore Murfreesboro.
Are you on the book?
Kiwanis.
We're on the book.
We're on the book of faces.
Yeah. So Kiwanis underscore Murfreesboro. There it is. There's one of our thank yous to Volunteer State Bank for our Clue sponsorship.
Nice.
So we try to update that, and we'll try to put, pictures of when we are out in the community, like earlier before this. I was at an event with 3 or 4 Kiwanians for a fundraising event for another organization, and we took pictures there. So we'll get those posted, and we try to promote our speakers. Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, I was supposed to make that. And
it was a great. It was
really
good.
Was it super emotional?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And it was, well, not really. It was actually, the speaker was so good, and it made you laugh. And so it made you feel good and emotional, but laughing at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was a really good program. But the Kiwanians were there in full force. And, but we try to get all that stuff on social media. And I think as soon as we get that, we got the Instagram going, which is really funny. We've got this girl. Kiwanis is historically, like the club. Murfreesboro originally had 3 Kiwanis clubs. There was the Stones River Club, the Oaklands Club, and the Murfreesboro Club. Well, back in the 90s, the Stones River and Oaklands merged. So then there was the Stones River Oakland Club that ran the softball program, and then there was the Murfreesboro Club. And we call the Murfreesboro Club the Old Man's Club. Okay. So it got to the point.
Such a thing. That's so odd.
It got to the point where Rita Shacklet, who is our amazing secretary right now, she was the only female in that club.
Yeah, Rita.
So Rita, she
get it. Break down those barriers.
And so
bust that.
There was a group that was like, we were like, we should merge and we should, join our efforts. We were going to a lot of their things, and they were coming to some of ours. And there were some people who held out on that. It took years to get that merger to happen. And we lost some members over it. But we kept, when we merged, we kept the Murfreesboro charter because it was it was the oldest, 1921.
Wow.
So I think we're the 600 and something club in the world. So of Kiwanis. So it was founded in 1915, Kiwanis was, and we chartered in 1921. Mm-hmm. And so we kept that charter. But speaking of age, I always felt like I was one of the younger people in the club because I came right out of, Key Club into Circle K, which is the college level at MTSU. And then I came to Kiwanis. And so I've always felt like I was the youngest. Well, we have this young girl named Elizabeth, who's actually our, going to be my vice president this year. And she asked if we took Venmo for Happy Bucks. And I was like, no, just bring $1.
Listen, you young whippersnapper.
Yeah, and then
we don't have cash.
And then
and
then she was like, and why don't we have an Instagram? And I was like, people in Kiwanis aren't on Instagram. And she was like, aha, that's the point. We're wanting younger members. We need to be where the younger people are. And so she helped us get the Instagram set up. Yeah. And ever since, now it's great because I can post on Instagram and it also goes to my Facebook. So the Facebook people are still happy, but the Instagram people see it too. And we've had a lot of people who have seen stuff and reached out through Instagram from the stuff that they've seen on there. So it was a really good move. And so we're very thankful for our younger generation that's coming along.
A little side note for those that don't know, we have a thing that we do called Happy Bucks, where before we really dive into the meeting, we go around and everybody can give $1 or $2 or $3, whatever you want to give, and get to say what you're thankful for. And a lot of the time, Elizabeth is thankful that she had $1.
Yeah,
she does that all the time. She's like, I have $1. So
and then
that goes to our administrative fund, but
and then you could tell a joke, so we'll have people tell jokes sometimes.
Yeah, or I'll tell people about an event coming up, whether it's mine or anybody else's.
Steve Fuchcar do the jokes, though,
right? Oh, he does them anyway.
He does them anyway,
whether we allow them or not.
I think I heard that on the 4th of October, he's actually going to do our officer inductions, which is always a treat to watch when he does those.
Oh my!
So
I'm in for a treat.
It's going to be a good time. So
our fiscal year starts in October, so we're getting ready to induct new officers.
Officers. That's
awesome.
New members. We've been having them. They're flying in.
That's
so
right.
It's
that's right.
Great time to be a Kiwanian.
It is.
Well, it sounds like it would be a good meeting for people to show up to for the first time.
It's our first meeting at a new restaurant, so I can't promise anything. But maybe let us
lower the bar, manage expectations.
We'll see. But, there's a room. They have servers. They have food. They have beverages. So I'm sure it will all work out.
There's a room with
food. Yes.
So we'll
And
be
if they're the
fine.
right
that
kind of
matters.
beverages, nobody's going to
We,
care.
we do meet right off of the bar. The bar is right outside our
see?
room. So
There you go.
if needed.
Yeah. That's
we
funny.
joke that on our social meetings we could just go out to the bar and we could have a social there. But
See?
Yeah.
Well
But-
planned.
but we are hoping to,
I mean, we've done LCR in
Yeah.
our social.
yeah, we did at one of our
I don't
social
know how to
meetings.
play
I-
that game.
Um,
They always
so
you
much
have
fun.
it
You
at
learn
all the
real
things, and I
fast.
just
Yeah,
don't.
you learn so fast.
I came
So-
in third. It's not a thing, but I came in third.
Yeah, Missy did amazing. I got some great photos of her at that social meeting.
It's just a thing that when you win or you don't lose, you just like, oh,
yeah,
it's just what you
Or
have
you
to
don't
do.
lose.
yeah. The
Nice.
facial expressions were great.
Yeah,
on Missy Lay
amazing.
that day, but we just have a great time, and we try to do some social activities. We had an end of the summer pool party at some of our members'
Mhm.
house, and we're going to try to get out and do more, after works, maybe some happy hours and stuff, and get
Yeah.
some of the younger members, and maybe do some family stuff for people with young families. So we're just gonna, try to do a little something for everybody and
Love on
Very
others and each
cool.
other.
serve the community.
Love
so it's
it.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining us
Oh,
today.
yeah,
We're
thanks
super
for having
excited
us.
about
Come.
Kiwanis and Clue.
Yeah.
Can't wait to come.
Clue's
Kiwanis.
coming up
Yeah,
soon.
sorry I didn't
Yay.
have a lot to say. As always, thanks
Well,
to our
you're here with us.
producer. I know.
We're all-
I'm just
we're all-
enjoying the
and thanks-
Between
conversation.
the three of us, there's really not.
You
a
go
lot.
tell
I'm
your
not even
friends
mad at it.
And your
Just loving
friends
it.
and your friends and them and your mom and them and your friends' friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have to always give our shout out, like you were saying,
Of
to our
course,
producer,
to our producer,
Trent.
Trent.
We spread the positive,
Mhm.
bringing light
light
to what's going right. Oh my God.
I know that oath too.
We did it. We all did it. Yes.
All the things.
I don't even mess it up that often anymore. I'm so excited.
I know.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes,
Yes.
awesome. Thank
Awesome.
y'all.